the right skills to do all this amazing stuff over the next few years. And really what I wanted to talk with the panel was to sort of get a sense of what does that skill base look like? And actually, are we in the right position?
Of AI is there's just a huge interest in it. And the community that's being created around it by organizations like CognitionX.
Right. I mean, obviously in Decoded, you're getting to what, 250,000 people or whatever so far to reskill them in coding and such like. Do you find that when you do that, are those generally the enlightened companies who are doing that, or are you getting the kind of builder's merchant from Birmingham who's coming to you, or we talk here and the word data set, those sorts of things. If I went to my local's builder's merchant and said, what's your data sets like? He'd probably say, we don't sell those or something, because they don't really talk the same language. And I just wonder, it's interesting, I've been involved very much in the productivity work. And as you know, in the UK, and there are a few other nations represented here, the productivity is very low relative to other nations. And one of the key things, of course, we can do is to digitize further. That would help us in the productivity. But if you ask people, if you ask businesses in the UK whether they're as productive or more productive than their peers, 90% will say they are. The real figure is less than 40%. So in other words, there's a perception that people are kind of okay, it's all working, and yet there's a kind of burning platform of, competition from around the world, certainly low productivity in the UK, and I just wonder how we can, go over that. I don't know whether Liz, maybe just because McKinsey have done a lot of thinking and they've been working with me and others in the productivity space. I just wonder what you see in terms of that skilling around the world in some of the areas that you've been involved in.
Yeah, so we've looked a lot at what are the types of...
To relearn and not just assuming I've done my thing and then that's it,
Yeah, I think, a lot of the talk around AI is based on two fundamental human emotions. One is fear of the unknown. We don't know what this brings, and we hear all kinds of stories, and the robot overlords will rule us very soon.
Kids coding camp on the weekend, or thinking about SAP, who said we're going to retrain a third of our folks, and trusting sort of almost in a blockchain kind of way.
AI, but really your general public doesn't really want to talk about AI at all. They just want to talk about stuff that works for them. We had a really good example of the young artistic lad that we look after periodically, and he really struggled to communicate with us for many, many years until he got an iPhone. And he does teach people today.
No, but the schools, these colleges actually are teaching them how to learn. I think it's fantastic. We don't give it enough credit. Maybe not all the universities do it. And the Oxfords and the Cambridges of the world, I think, are set in the same way.
And I agree. Then there's a set of people who need to start thinking about it maybe in their businesses. And then the experts, we need the PhDs, and we need the, if we want to lead in these things, we need all sorts of different levels. And that will keep moving on. Languages will get smarter. As you say, computers will start to code. Humans and mixed humans and AIs is going to evolve. Any sense of the kind of management skills that you might need for that?
I think that part of it is